Our company's based in Chicago, and I have to start there. And we were honored to be selected by the Chicago Cubs in the fall of 2012 to become their agency of record. They had just come off a 101-loss season. A lot of good things had happened. The Ricketts family had bought the team in 2009. In 2011, they recruited Theo Epstein from the Boston Red Sox. And there was this plan to turn this franchise around, but do it in a very radical way. And bringing us in at that point, I think, was really important. So over the last 5 years, as the team has gone from losing 101 games to last year winning 103 games and their first World Series since 1908, the narrative of how we've told the story, how we've engaged with fans, has of course had to shift. We do a lot for the Cubs. We do certainly all of their advertising. We do everything from designing all the tickets to the box that the season tickets come in, to all the graphics that adorn Wrigley Field inside and out. You know, every piece of collateral is designed in our studio, so it's a very deep relationship. We're involved in the hotel that they're building across the street. We're involved in the build out of the park outside of Wrigley, which has been a remarkable part of the relationship beyond the work for the Cubs themselves. Our work over the last 5 years has involved a different theme or campaign every year that really has followed the cadence of the team's progression. So in 2013, when we couldn't talk about players and we couldn't talk about baseball as we were rebuilding the team, what we could talk about is commitment. So our 2013 campaign was all about fan commitment, these dramatic, authentic fan stories. 2014, fortunately, it was the 100th anniversary of Wrigley Field, where, you know, this iconic venue where we play. 1914 to 2014, we turned it into a season-long event called the Party of the Century. 2015, we got Joe Madden as our coach. We got John Lester from the Boston Red Sox. Then we could maybe shift our voice to be just a little more confident. And so what we did was said, you know, we're going to introduce a little more aggressive language, and the theme was "Let's Go." But it was it seems subtle, but it was actually more confident than maybe we were confident in or comfortable with at the beginning of that season. And we really began to focus on the momentum of this team, not on individual players yet. And we made it to the playoffs that year for the first time since 2008. We got beat in the National League Championship Series by the Mets, did not go to the World Series, but real sense of lift. Going into 2016 last year, you know, we're on the cover of Sports Illustrated as we're going to win it all, and the expectations were super high, and we wanted to keep everything in check. Because one of the things we did with our fans along this journey, Andy, was say, we're going to be honest with you. We're going to tell you that we're not going to be good. Not maybe this year, not maybe next year. And they appreciated that honesty, that transparency. We invited them along on this journey. We held town hall meetings with season ticket holders. And so when we started to get good, we had to be very careful that we kept all of that in check. As you know, we won the World Series last year, and we created a really powerful postseason campaign using the W flag, which flies over Wrigley Field and has since the 1930s, signifying when the Cubs win. We turned it into a social media platform with a hashtag #FlyTheW. It got embraced all over the globe. And we weren't telling fans how to celebrate. We were just kind of giving them this vehicle, this hashtag that was tethered to some pure equity of the Cubs and the W flag. And that is, you know, that became the cornerstone of our postseason last year. And then once we won the World Series, we celebrated that with a pretty special piece of communication that we had created over the weeks leading up to it. We didn't know if we would win. It might never see the light of day, but we embedded these film crews in all of our fans, not all of our fans, but in our fans' homes, in the bars they went to, in firehouses, in their offices, out at Wrigley Field, capturing their reactions to this team as it was moving through the postseason. And we waited for that final out in Cleveland early in the morning of November 3rd, 2016. and we captured the final mayhem outside of Wrigley Field in that final out. And at 5 a.m. that morning, we issued this commemorative spot. We were able to use Eddie Vedder of Pearl Jam, his song, Someday We'll Go All the Way. He's a diehard Cubs fan from Evanston, Illinois, and he created this powerful music, and we created this spot, launched it at 5 a.m. on the 3rd. In about 2 hours, it had 10 million views, all organic. You know, eventually 35, 36 million views, all organic. The Cubs didn't spend one dime of paid media on it, and that was this powerful statement from our fans to us about what this win meant.